Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. We are the Religious Nerd Squad. We will be talking more about mainly just because we are Christians and geeks and gamers and nerds and whatnot. Y'all probably know who I am because of the rambling in my voice. I am Servant of God 777. With me is
Chelsea Bunny, Chaotic Bunny, has lots of things to talk about, and Scattered Brain.
I am Diva, resident vampire extraordinaire. I am also religious, and I'm also into anime, video games, and the like.
I am Youngblood Ray, also known as Rias Khan. I am the first Khan from Earthrealm, and I am also a religious man, along with a gamer, weeb, and gunpla aficionado.
Game aficionado, so you go fishing?
For anyone wondering, Chelsea's like this every day.
This is normal. This is my life.
Yes, right.
You two are certainly a match made in heaven, that's for sure.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
I
you
knew
two are a
as soon as
delight.
I knew as soon as Reyes told me about you, that you would end up together, and lo and behold, I was right.
Yes.
Yep.
Anyway, Chelsea, what would you like to talk about this lovely evening?
I'm not really sure. Stuff like computer electronics of
I thought
how
you were
the
doing
90s
Sonic. Pretend. Oh wait, you're doing other
we
things.
already did Sonic last time.
The time that didn't happen because of the bungled recording.
Yes.
My apologies. Go. I remember
It's
what you're talking about now.
It's interesting how in the 2000s they showed lots of bubbly stuff and silver, and they thought that's how the future would be cool. But it never happened. But I like those kind of aesthetics because it everything's so glossy and realistic. And now with day and age, everything has been simplified and flattened to 2D and look boring.
I echo that sentiment. I despise modern architecture. But then again, could be the old soul in me talking.
Yep.
Agreed.
And all the McDonald's look depressing. It's just like, oh, look at this happy McDonald's. Now it's just like plain building.
I grew up out near a McDonald's with a fancy freaking fountain in the middle of it. It was like high class, but it's McDonald's at the same time on University Avenue. Best memories there. Wasn't a pretty place, but fancy.
The one I grew up with had a giant, enormous ball pit that actually spanned like the size of a small swimming pool.
Oh,
Swimming pool
cool.
size ball pit. That's the life.
Indeed,
Yeah.
especially for a youngin like myself.
Oh, that sounds.
But the thing
fun.
is, you also have New York to thank for that, considering they're the ones that ordered that all buildings get simplified.
Oh.
You can thank them for sucking the fun out of it, like a vampire. Yes, I can and will make the occasional vampire joke.
Yes, the vampire joke.
I would make a joke about Wall Street being run by vampires.
Nah, I
but
don't want the Wall Street. This is a lot of grown-up Wall Street.
if it's New York who sucked it out, it's Wall Street who's usually to blame, is my point. But even they're not that good at sucking things dry, sadly.
Oh yeah, I know Wall Street is Leonardo DiCaprio.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes.
I mean, you're not
I've actually
wrong.
seen plenty of JoJo memes of that movie. And just like JoJo, Dio is definitely up there on the top generational haters, right next to 2012 Shredder.
I mean, yes. Okay, so who's going next?
Ray wants to. Mia's Reyes wants to go next, babe. Or unless Diva wants to go.
If Diva wants to go...
The floor is yours, Emperor.
Okay. Let me just get my notes up. Yes, I took notes while playing today. So the game I want to talk about is Well, the first one I want to talk about is Return to Grace, which is an interesting thing. It's basically a pulpy sci-fi walking simulator. So you don't really face enemies. You do have an enemy, but it's like monsters and stuff. It takes place on the moon of Jupiter, Ganymede, in the year 3820 AD. They actually use AD in this too. I'm impressed. And you basically get trapped in like this ancient building because you're exploring, trying to find out what happened to this AI god who goes by the name Grace. What happened to her, and why did she get shut down in the last century? Because in that the world went to crap, and you're exploring that. You get it?
Yeah.
When you hack into the building called the Spire, you're trapped in there, and you along the way you are lonely at first. Like you get these AI on your comm link, which again, yeah, it's a pulpy sci-fi thing. It's literally like those like black boots they have women. They had like every woman wear in a spacesuit.
Yeah.
Like Leela.
Well, no, not like Leo. Like I'm talking about like 1950s sci-fi stuff.
Oh.
I know those.
But oh yeah, the main character has those on. Speaking of, now I can talk about the characters. The main character is Adi Adamori Ito, who's the main character, who's the architect, and we never see her face, but we do learn about her. Along with that, you have the AIs. You have Alan, who's the ship's AI, who's the first AI you hear, because it's the AI of her ship. Then there's Logic. That's the first AI of Grace you see. Logic is very emotional, is very logical. Like, so you really can't really have a joke with her at all. She just wants to get the mission done. Control is an egomaniac, and light spoilers here. I'm going to be light on spoilers, but he's like the main villain in the bad end. That's all I'm going to say about him. But yeah, if you hear him, you kind of get that chill up your spine of, oh, he's one of those.
Yeah.
I'm getting 2001: A Space Odyssey vibes just right there.
Indeed, I was getting reminded of Hal.
I would say that's close. And then there's control. Oh no, wait, no, sorry. Then there's Empathy, who you meet her in this very tranquil like place, which Empathy kind of comes off to me like very caring, like kind of like how a grade school teacher would talk to a kid. If you remember that.
Oh yeah.
Indeed.
I don't, but I'll take your word for it.
And there are three more, but these are configurations of the first three AIs from Grace. There's Hal, who is a configuration of Empathy and Control, and who's like a little kid. Who's kind of like a little kid, to be honest. And he's actually arguing with the Logic a lot in the dialogues. Which, yeah, the dialogues are important because, again, walking simulator, so you can't really miss out on the dialogue. There's Mom, which is a Logic and Empathy, who I think that's always what she is. She's kind of mom-like.
So how do you interact with these AIs anyway?
It varies, but you're at least dealing with one.
Now, okay, how do you interact with them?
Oh, okay. So the character has a comm link on her wrist. It's like a computer on her wrist, like like the 1950s thing. Like I'd say, imagine Buzz Lightyear. Like he has a wrist communicator. That's how you interact with the AIs.
Because here's me wondering if they got do they have like bodies? Are they holograms? Or is it like a computer thing?
No, their face is on a computer screen, and yeah, as you go through, like, because the whole place is abandoned, but you get to see, like, all these suites, and there's, like, a part where we find out, like, why people are called there to this AI god. And that place specifically, it was to help grant wishes because they thought the AI god could grant wishes, but something happened and essentially the people, they lost their faith and there was like an uprising. Like, because when you go into the little congregation place, you'll see like there are barricades, there's stuff broken, wish canisters are thrown around all.
Sounds very spooky.
I see AI God, and I hear that, and my brain immediately goes, "That's not a good sign." Whenever I eat something that has that, and wish granting gives me other vibes. Ooh.
Oh yeah, no, because like the keeper, which is basically like the pope for this AI god, last keeper was named Everett. He shut it down. And that's part of the thing is like we find out why was Grace shut down, and I am being very vague because I do want people to play this game.
And where can you find the game?
You can find it on Steam or on Xbox Shop.
Okay.
So, on to a subject of my understanding. It was thanks to this particular game that I actually got into D&D. And what drew me into it was the fact that at first I was shying away because I heard that there was a scene where you could romance a bear, and at first I'm like, oh, probably safest to skip this. Until I learned that there was a silver-haired chaotic elf voiced by Neil Newborn who was actually a vampire. I was just doomed from that moment on.
I have heard no end of this woman swooning and have occasionally been posting gifs of a tsunami to cool her off.
Bye. We have heard this all.
Yes. I actually have in fact met Neil Newborn, and I've actually gotten a belated birthday wish from him because literally the day after my birthday, Baldur's Gate 3 came out on PS5, and it was almost as if the character was just gift wrapping himself to me, just wearing only ribbons saying, "I'm the gift."
Very
and
romantic.
I told as much to Neil Newborn, and he actually laughed and said that seemed like something Astarion would do.
Yep.
But then, of course, I have only been charmed by Gale, who reminds me way too much of my fiance to not be a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, another favorite of mine is a certain mysterious yet dark-haired cleric named Shadowheart, and she's actually quite the sweetheart. Oh my god, did I just pun?
Yes.
Yes, you did, pun. It's funny.
But I will admit, I have yet to romance Karlach. She is a golden retriever personality. I absolutely love her. I just don't view her romantically because she's like the big sister I always wanted.
Aw.
But I still actually made a character to romance her. I just have yet to get him to that stage in the relationship.
In due time, they'll learn to grow on each other. Probably not good of words, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, we do.
I romanced every male option in this game. I have yet to romance every female option in this game.
They wish you the very best.
Surprisingly, the most slow burn romance for the characters is in fact Shadowheart. But if you want to add a bit of tsundere spice into it, romance her as a cleric of Selûne, and oh my god, the amount of, it's not as if I like you or anything, fucker. That's the closest thing I can get to sounding like Jennifer English. I apologize in advance if I sound off.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's fine.
You would.
And can I mention that the music is absolutely spectacular to the point that they actually made a Disney villain song, and it was actually better than the tribe coming out of modern Disney.
Oh yeah, modern Disney villain music. It's just like boring.
I'm like, did
I want-
ChatGPT write King Magnifico's number? Because I honestly feel like AI wrote that garbage.
I'm so evil. I'll pay for your taxes. It's just like, wait, what? That's not evil.
Yeah, there's accusations that song was written by AI.
But
And it's possible knowing Disney.
But if you want a character that is a fine example of that, if you want a character to fall back on that is the epitome of Screw Tape from the Screw Tape letters, look no further than Raphael the Devil. He is how you write a charismatic Faustian character. I honestly, I think him and Kyubey from Madoka Magica would be actually having tea and brandy at his house, and they're both talking about how they screwed over their contractees.
QBA.
QBA?
So.
With that little rat lapping up tea from a teacup with Raphael holding a glass of brandy.
From Madoka.
Oh.
That little monstrosity.
Yeah.
You got me a plushie of that for my birthday.
Yes, I admit I gave her a plushie of of that little monstrosity. If it was real, I'd be putting bullets in him.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to drink that thing. I wouldn't want to drink that thing's blood.
To be fair, does it have blood even?
When Homura shot him up, there was blood gushing everywhere.
I mean, technically, yes.
And it regenerate and age itself.
And also, now we know we can feel pain, so that'll be fun.
Oh, yeah, you can feel pain, but you can't die. Well.
Oh, what Homura has done to him. I honestly think the little rat deserves it. Anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stray.
Go for it. It's okay.
Fine.
But yes, Raphael is how you write a Screw Tape villain. Right down to a T. And oh, I would not touch him with a 39.5-foot pole. But I can't deny a good villain when I see one.
Right.
I'm willing to date vampires. I'm willing to date wizards. I'm willing to date almost anything or anyone. But if it's a devil or a demon, instant hell no, unironically.
I kid. Aw,
Darling.
I heard a kitty.
There was about to be a cat fight. Sorry about that.
Fight to a duel.
Some of my cats don't get along with each other. I'm trying to make sure that there is peace. Anyway, Seven, do you wish to speak on something?
Yes, I do, actually. And oddly enough, mine's a bit more of a general stuff I keep noticing. You can come up with gaming in general is my tastes revolve around on me first liking Kirby Superstar when I was a kid. As I have said, I have a copy of I still have a physical copy of the freaking SNES cartridge. Because to the point where, once I found out someone made a Kirby-themed wallet and the numbers on it were from Great Cave Offensive, the theme music for that bit went off in my head. Just instantly. I could probably hum the beat if I wanted to.
Is the item still available, or did they sell out?
It was one of those like
wallet?
limited edition, really expensive leather wallets that are like custom made by some fancy website.
Damn.
Like if I could get one, I would at that point like I don't care, shut up and take my money. It's literally the Philip Fry routine for me there when I see something that on point. Like You have it with the complete total for a perfect game. Like, everything found. And only those who spent time, and I mean a lot of time in that part of Kirby Superstar, know that score by heart. To the point where the minute I saw, I'm like, it's the complete score. It's completely accurate. Everything found. It's like, because it took me the first time forever to get some of the things in that bit alone. And that's a cartridge with technically 8 games on it. A few of which are usually just done in co-op, including, of all things, a racing game against King Dedede, which is probably one of the most insane things to realize, that I spent literal days just playing that, racking up my own high score till I got a near perfect run. Days before, like, internet forums were so common that you could easily just post how good you did or record yourself and just, share with everyone and go, what did I miss? Because, yeah, that was me. This I have obsessed over more than Pokemon, and it's one thing I notice. I have a few interests in most gaming and media in general. Cute, fluffy-looking things, adorable things, wholesome messages, and occasionally having to fight eldritch horrors from beyond the depths of nightmare and imagination, and coming out on top to have a happy ending. Like, everything that effectively, even to modern-day Kirby games, still deal with. Including the eldritch horrors. Because, like, every Kirby boss seems to be something that would make most nightmares go, well, I'm outdone, I'm gonna pack up my bags and walk away. This guy's in charge now. I am not joking.
I wish they brought back Kirby Air Ride, but that won't happen since it's the GameCube graphics, and I don't think the Switch has a capability for that.
Well...
If I recall correctly, that there is an option on Switch to actually play retro games. I mean, my fiance has almost every Donkey Kong game on the Switch now.
Yeah, I don't know if Kirby Air Ride's on there. I would have to look.
I know. Like I said, I can't speak for every game that they had in the past, but I just know that there is a possibility that it could be there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But
I just know that Donkey Kong is available. Mm-hmm. My fiance absolutely adored the giant monkey. Or would that be a giant ape?
Technically ape, because Donkey Kong is a gorilla/ape. It is one of the crazier moments when it comes to that simian. Which, oddly enough, again, the only time I've seen him and Kirby interact is Super Smash Brothers, which I found the minute I got an N64 and started playing that kind of also became a bit of a sense of what my interest of fighting games is. That and early arcade Mortal Kombat, like 1, 2, and 3. Because the community center near my house, literally walking distance if I ever bothered to, had one in there. And since it was also connected to the elementary school, I had spent years playing that machine. Literal years. I knew almost all the stuff on it, I knew almost all the mechanics, and I had memorized half the combos before I eventually was able to leave because I wasn't spending every hour. But every time I could, and I had the chance to, even if I had to, find a way to get quarters somehow, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, don't ask questions, I would play it. It was... Mine
was Galaga. I was obsessed with that particular arcade game as a child. Back when I was living up in North Carolina for a year, we had to go to the laundromat to get our laundry done. And in the corner was a small arcade area, and in it was Galaga. And I would play it nonstop while my mom was trying to get the laundry folded. Mm-hmm.
Which, ironic bit with me also with the N64 is the Kirby game on there was like, oh, I get to experience copyability stuff. What is this? Wait, I can combine? Wait. Giant flaming sword. This is cool. Oh, I'm a drill. Oh, I'm a needle boy. Oh, what is that? A bee? Is that a hornet back and a cactus? And what is this needle ability? And then electric plus blade. So I have a double-bladed yellow lightsaber now. What am I, like a good guy version of Darth Maul? Oh wait, it's Kirby. Of course it's a good guy version of Darth Maul because he would never go dark side. Could never copy Force abilities because the minute the dark side took one poke at him, even it would immediately go, nope. Because Kirby would either be too pure or it would recognize what Dark Kirby would do, and the Force couldn't live. The dark side would basically go, no, I have standards. Despite
Isn't
the
Meta
fact,
like a Kirby? Because when you fight him and his mask comes off, it looks like a blue Kirby.
would you believe I actually thought he was a Waddle Dee when I first fought him in Kirby Superstar? Because that's the similar model I'm looking at, like minus the smile or face in general. It's like, is he one of the Waddles? What the heck's
Nah.
going on there? Because I didn't know what the whole terminology was over that. So I'm like, is that? And then the lore, no, he's a Star Knight. Usually he's only showing up to test Kirby or be an antagonist when needed to help him grow. The bit in Superstar is like slightly before his lore is royally more fleshed out. So he kind of just becomes the easy foil / foe. But here's the thing. Even to Forgotten Lands, every specific fight against Meta Knights, you'll notice a theme. Because it goes back to Superstar. There is one sword that gives you the sword ability in the ground with a arrow flashing over it that says get or get it. Effectively telling you to touch it and claim the ability.
Cool.
And until you really do so, or in some newer games, just boof it away with whatever a copy ability you currently have, the fight will not begin. He will not fight you until you pick up the blade or knock it aside. That's kind of the running gag there.
Yeah, and Kirby right back at you. They made his voice Mexican.
They made him Mexican and so suave at that point, Zoro would be taking notes, or at the very least giving compliments.
I'm just suddenly reminded of
Write
that.
down.
You know that YouTube series, something about the Water Temple or the Fire Temple or the Forest Temple from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina
Yeah.
of Time.
Yeah, I
I
remember
know
that.
some of those.
Well, every time I hear Suave, I just now think of that version of Ganondorf voice speaking suavemente with that AI Mexican voice.
Oh, that is just.
And of course, the Mexican laugh.
Yeah, that is a classic. But that again, like I've said, Kirby influenced so much of my interests. I think Ray, you were the one who gave me the Stitch plush for a gift, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I know have that on my desk, and that's also one of my favorite characters because of the same reasons I like Kirby, of the cute and fluffy and overly destructive.
Gotta love the little blue alien. In fact, it was the few Disney movies my old man and I could agree on next to Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
Atlantis: The Lost
Dude, my
Empire. That was a fun one.
with my mom, she literally said, well, that came out the perfect time because I'm not going to get too personal here, but I'm going to say the year that movie came out is around the year my parents split.
Oh.
Sour taste, and sorry to hear about that.
Well, she said it was a good way to explain things to me, which kind of did help, and I did love watching the movies and watching the TV show.
You had a TV show?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
more of a
Remember
direct
Lilo and Stitch the series?
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh yes. I have to say though, my fiance can actually voice the little blue alien. Although, don't ask him for a demonstration; he is shy.
Aw,
no
dog
worries,
and
no worries.
shy.
It happens.
Well, he is.
Fine.
He is a Frieza race, so it makes sense.
The freezer race. So he's Frozone because he freezes stuff.
As in Frieza from Dragon Ball Z, sweetie.
Okay, my bad.
Hey, you didn't know, but you were on the right track. You were just on. as my grandmother would say once, right church, wrong pew.
Ah.
I'm with that with most things. Someone says one thing and I think something else. It's like, you're not that wrong, but you kind of are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, the little blue alien actually holds a near and dear place to my heart. And back when Disney wasn't the greedy corporate empire they were originally, even though they were bordering on it at the time, I actually, for my birthday one year, I actually got free tickets to go because I happened to know somebody who worked at the park at the time.
Oh.
Sweet.
Nice.
So it's one of those things you get when you live in either the East Coast or the West Coast. So that friend gave me free tickets, and I gave them to my at the time BFF and my at the time friend who happened to be male. So we weren't dating yet at that point, for the record. So
Yeah.
while there, they had these little Stitch plushies, and I started feeling nostalgic about it in that moment. And right in that moment, my fiance bought it for me without any reason whatsoever. He's like, "I saw you were with it. I just thought it would be something nice for you." I'm like, "No, you didn't have to do that." I was thankful. I didn't expect him to do that for me on the spot. I admittedly still have that plushie to this day.
Nice.
And admittedly, that was one of the best days of my life, because the day after that, that's when he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I said yes.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why my birthday is the day we have my birthday, and then the day after my birthday is our anniversary.
Oh, that's cute. That is so lovely.
Yes, precious.
I guess you could say it's almost as if God gave me him. So yes, there is more than just former bonding with my old man with Stitch. There's also now that connection to my fiance as well. And yes, like I said, he can voice him, but good luck trying to get him to do it for you. Although he does make a good Stripe from Gremlins.
Oh yeah, I love Gremlins. I can't wait to see how bad they do the Lilo and Stitch thing. Sorry.
When they tried to replace Cobra Bubbles with a woman, I was admittedly incensed. You do not replace Cobra Bubbles.
The minute I heard that, I'm like, that's the equivalent of trying to make Meta Knight some type of girl boss in a Kirby game, or the equivalent of. Yeah, it's beyond stupid. Heck, even in the Donkey Kong games on the SNES, it takes the third one for the girl to be in charge. She has to take along her young cousin, and she's going to save the other guys because King K. Rool kept upping his game and managed to capture both Donkey and Diddy by then.
Ah, okay.
You literally had the perfect thing for the perfect guy for Cobra Bubbles. It was the guy who voiced him. Literally look up Ving Rhames. He looks like IRL Cobra Bubbles.
Yeah, who was it again?
Ving Rhames.
Oh, that's right.
Big Rames?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Plus, basically it's a usual common practice that Disney would actually incorporate some of what their actual actors look like into the animation, so it could have something for the animators to fall back on for visual purposes. They did it with Maleficent, who was not only motion capture animated by Eleanor Audley, but voiced by Eleanor Audley. If you look at pictures of Maleficent and Eleanor Audley side by side, you'll see a very distinct similarity.
Oh, I find that intrigue, yes.
That's why Maleficent has that powerful voice, because she's actually, Eleanor Audley has that presence in it. The same way that she did when she played Cinderella's stepmother in Cinderella. Same
Was
actress.
she also the sleeping Snow White? Or no?
Not that was Lucille Laverne.
Oh, not bad.
You didn't know?
No, that's fine. I
Happens,
don't know
it's
why,
usual.
but I just have a fascination of watching the good movies of the they're making live action movies of to compare and contrastionate.
Well, it's a good thing that you can do that because most people just start spazzing out over the new stuff, failing to realize it's trash in comparison to the original. And you actually point out that there's a difference between the quality.
Yes.
Yeah, with me, I'm just apathetic. If I'm being honest.
I don't want to give them my money for a mediocre product.
Oh.
Also,
Right.
why did it take me until I was web searching for reference photos for Belle when I was designing a dress inspired from Belle that I learned that Belle and the Beast actually announced the Oscars one year?
Oh yeah, I
Why am
forgot that
just finding
happened.
this out?
I mean, Edna Motive was actually there offering her services, announcing one of the Oscars for the best costume design one year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who better? A woman who designed for gods.
Yeah. And as always, no capes.
And no capes. And then we find out reason why the guy got killed with the cape
Yep.
because it got
Do
stuck.
you remember Thunderhead? Stratogale, April 57. It got cosmic turbine engine.
Mm-hmm.
Dynaguys pulled into a vortex. No capes.
No
You know the
capes.
funny thing too? So I used to have like the Incredibles, like the 2-disc DVD thing, and they had like the little feature with the heroes. You could tell their bios. All the heroes she mentioned, if you check their bios, they have no recording of that hero.
Nice little detail back when they actually cared.
Right?
Yeah, they don't care anymore. It's just like, here, throw the movie, done. It's like, but unrelated Disney, Shrek is back. Shrek 5.
Oh,
But
good
they got
lord!
everything wrong. I'm sorry. I just
No,
I
you're fine.
feel like they
Calm
should-
down, calm down.
I just felt they should have stopped at 4 and ended it at
Yeah.
that.
or stop
At
that
the-
too.
The
2
last,
was the perfect sequel. And
Yeah.
honestly, in my opinion, the best Shrek movie.
Oh
the,
yeah.
the entire
Oftentimes-
franchise should have ended with the Last Wish with the Puss in Boots movie, purely because there's no way to top that.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Although, did you know that the song "I'm Holding Out for a Hero" sung by the fairy godmother? It's actually a cover song by Bonnie Tyler.
Yeah, I'm
I
aware
did
of
not
that.
know that. It was the best thing in movie cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Josh Scorcher also brought it up in top 10 non-Disney villain songs. Let's think of it this way. He brought this up in his video. So if I'm paraphrasing, I apologize. It's mostly his words, so I'm just reiterating. The heroes, the traditional fairy tale heroes, are the villains. And the traditional fairy tale villains are the heroes. A song about needing heroes is sung by the villain.
That will never not be funny.
Yeah, that's saying something. Like now that I'm older, I can appreciate how they reverse the roles in Shrek. I mean, usually it's Prince Charming is a hero. In Shrek, Prince Charming is a spoiled mama's boy who can't do anything on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they went to go get to McDonald's.
That scene was great.
It almost looked like she was about to pull a mafia move on the king, only for her to just drive up to their world equivalent of McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she just goes, "My giant is ruined."
Like she said, and it goes from mafioso standing to ranting mom in the drive-thru. Oh, welcome to McDonald's. I give you order.
Yeah, take your order.
That's about it. It's like the drive-thru.
Really?
Funnily enough, that scene actually threw me off as a child.
Oh, it threw everyone off. And oddly
Oh,
enough,
yeah.
on Shrek 2 and the first Shrek, it came out because when I was like, I forget the year it came out. I was right around my late teens and whatnot when this thing actually first dropped in theaters. People my parents' age, my mom's age, and around my age as well. For a lot of us, we grew up hearing about the Disney movies, and then we get seen this. For the parents and the older people who went multiple times and dragged kids multiple times, it was because it subverted their expectations while also teasing the nostalgia in a way that was good, in a way that built, that didn't insult the intelligence of the audience, that didn't do any. It was complimentary. It was fun. It was intelligent when it needed to be. It was comedic when no one expected it. You're a girl dragon. Like everyone in the theater went, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the minute you realize he's he's accidentally rizzed up a dragon, everyone went nuts. And then that scene at the end of 2.
And they had dragon donkey babies.
He had chimera babies with the dragon. At that point, you're looking at like, donkey? What
Yeah.
the hell kind of donkey are you besides the talking?
I wonder what happened
gotta
to Shrek's
give it
other
to 'em.
kids, because with the Shrek 5, they only show one of the daughters, but there's 2 other children. Maybe they'll show them later, or maybe they just forgot that Shrek has 3 kids.
I honestly hope that they fixed the editing on the trailer. The thing is, that trailer is getting roasted on the internet.
Oh yeah.
I
Yes.
go on like Twitter, X, whatever you call it. The one thing I see, everyone's just roasting it. You got 2
Oh, yeah.
options. You can go Disney or you can go Sonic. Which
Yeah.
which way Western Man is literally your option here. If if DreamWorks wants to keep making bank with Shrek, if they want to keep making bank, they've got to change it.
Yeah.
Make up a new thing.
Speaking of
I'm not
Sonic,
calling. I will say I'm not calling for anything, but nerds, we did it once, we can do it again.
No, it's not hard.
speaking of Sonic, my fiance and I got to go to see Sonic 3, and it was absolutely amazing. And I was so happy they incorporated Live and Learn from Sonic Adventure 2.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, just for anyone watching this later, for those who are aware and who aren't, Sonic 3 is based off Sonic Adventures 2 for the GameCube, a 20-something-year-old game. And for those who keep saying it's a 20-year-old trope of blow up the planet, yeah, like the plot's actually that old or something.
Right? It's
Like
like
I
when
never
Nate
played
did
it, but I've
War.
seen enough of the gameplay to go, I actually would like to play this, even if it's probably hard as heck. And no, wait, at that point, heck, probably harder, but it's very much a hard game, and it's very glitchy and jank at times. And if you're not careful, you will be hitting reset a bunch or just
Yeah.
restarting the level.
I played the game mostly to the meteor area just to go. Like I was 10 hours in Rouge and Knuckles treasure hunt mode to go to Chow Garden and play City Escape, but never complete the game.
Yeah, she likes the challenge.
Admittedly, my first exposure to Sonic was the Sonic X series, so I have to admit that my exposure to the games is very limited because my old man was determined not to quote unquote raise a gamer. Ironic enough, what happened decades later.
Yeah.
It was
I'll say for me, my first exposure, that was with Sonic Heroes. Like I used to play like a lot of the old school games with my cousin who, okay, I love her, but she's not a fun person to game with because she gets very. I'm trying to be nice here.
very easily
angry
upset.
like me or something.
Well, I usually lose to her, and she get very braggy. It's
Understandable.
oh yeah, like I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I do love her, but she can be a bit much sometimes.
Oh no, we all
do
got
be like
got
that.
people we know who are like that at times. For me, for Sonic, this is where I date myself. Sonic Sat AM and that more goofy Sonic the Hedgehog show where they've memed Robotnik in that with a cereal wall meme.
The Pingus.
Snooping as usual, I see.
Yes, you do realize, I remember when that show was first airing, I was watching that as some of those episodes were new. That's how old I am. I caught some of Sonic Sat AM, the more very darker version of Sonic's lore. And for those wondering, yes, a post-apocalyptic cyberized world is Sonic's home world in the original games and shows and whatnot. Give it
to his name again. I know the voice actor. It was on the tip of my tongue.
Mike Pollan?
Terrifying Robotnik.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jim Cummings.
Also, I'm going to date myself now. I remember when the Archie comics were new, and I remember watching new Sonic X episodes.
I
grew up watching Sailor Moon as a child.
We're all old heads, but we're good.
My mother would go out of her way to tape every episode, and it was not only my gateway into anime, it was also hers. Even though she grew up with Speed Racer, she did not know that was an anime.
I didn't know Pokemon was an anime, the OG one.
Yeah, I didn't know at the time either, and I thought Sailor Moon wasn't an anime. But lo and behold, goes to show you can be wrong about these things, especially when you're a kid.
Oh, same.
And yes, Sailor Moon is my childhood. I will defend it to the end of my being. And yes, I will admit, I did have a fangirl crush on Diamond because, well, first, silver-haired Bishonen.
It's like there's a pattern with you.
Yeah, the vampires, the white hair.
Well,
Sephiroth. No, you don't like Sephiroth, but something.
Actually, I do like Sephiroth. Yes. So you can thank Diamond for that.
One Winged Angel plays in the background.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a lot of listening to the actual track for me to actually get the Latin down.
Yeah.
It was Latin? I thought it was some kind of Japanese.
No,
it's Latin.
It's Latin.
It's pulled straight from the track Carmina Burana. By Carl Ford.
Fancy name, yeah. Carmina Burana.
Well,
I know I butchered names.
Well, specifically the track "O Fortuna," which is pretty much Latin chanting of calling fortune a whore. I'm not kidding, by the way.
I mean, I can see why that song exists.
Yeah.
All right, just because we've meandered a whole bunch, I want to say one other thing. Kind of on just Kirby in general and other stuff that, like, Kirby, Sonic, and Bits. When I hear talk of, like, video game movies, I remember when that was basically a oh now what moment. I unironically have a guilty pleasure in the live-action Super Mario Brothers.
Chris Pratt did a good job.
Not Chris Pratt. The
one
from the 80s, 90s. The live action.
The monkey.
Yes. I must have watched the VHS like so many times each year because I could not. That movie I memorized and I could never get sick of it. There's only when it comes to that, my there's some things I will never watch unless it's my birthday or some other time because I never want them to lose impact. Super Mario Brothers was just it's bad enough that it's good for me that I could just keep going back to it. So now I'm in the era of good video game movies for the most part. We have Sonic movies, we have Super Mario Brothers. I will say this, Kirby does not need to be live action, but Legend of Zelda should be live action.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, princess. Imagine he said that. He wouldn't probably. But that'd be funny if he did.
I mean, canonically, Link is mute, but who knows?
I wouldn't mind Link speaking. It just has to be minimalistically.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ha.
I will say this. If they do make that movie, wouldn't it be cool if they used use it that Link is canonically Christian.
Makes
Oh,
sense
they
as a
do
shield.
that.
I would love it if they did that.
Considering Miyamoto had to initially, with the Super Mario Brothers movie, go and see the script because they apparently were going to girl boss up Peach. But the minute he saw that, he drew a hard line on only this much, the rest is gone. And he had enough authority to pull them off and say, no. A flat no,
God.
or you're off the project.
Thank God.
To the point where when he saw some of the stuff they were putting in, he and Nintendo from Japan with, we will not put up with this nonsense, and we also have you in the legal vices right now, so we can just easily squeeze you if we wish. They started direct creator control, and basically he said, we're doing this true to the games. This is what the fans want. This is what's going to make us money. This is what we were told to them we would do. This is what we promised. And while they didn't want to...
They did it anyway.
Yeah, because Miyamoto had final say, and they could easily just nix the dang thing. And they would publicly declare it was a talk if they had to. And why?
I seriously wish more creatives would actually do that.
Right.
Although apparently P.L. Travers, who was the writer for Mary Poppins, actually told Disney that before she gave them permission to adapt her book, she had to sit in every creative meeting and they had to record every single meeting.
Oh, that's right. Didn't they base a movie on that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did.
Unfortunately, it was a bit more leaning on support for Disney, considering Disney was behind the project.
Yeah.
And
But
there was a few scenes that actually had me go, you seriously went there, didn't you?
Well, I am glad I never saw that movie.
I saw it because I don't care how bad everybody get mad at a movie. I get mad at it too. I still want to see how bad it does and see if anybody was wrong.
I
Emma
don't think you
Thompson.
get that mad, to be honest.
Hey, I'll say this: Emma Thompson was perfect as P.L. Travers. I would actually rewatch the movie just for her in that moment.
Okay.
Good to know.
But overall, she hated the movie. No matter what they did, she was going to come out hating it.
Oh, yeah,
there
this
were
was
some
known.
But there were some moments that, from the recordings, she actually did like. That's just on the whole, she does not like animation. And Walt reneged on the promise that he said that there'd be no animation.
Right.
You guys seen Wicked?
I saw the original musical. I have no interest in watching Ariana Grande.
Yeah,
okay.
It doesn't tickle my fancy.
It tickled my fancy.
Well, to be fair, what told me off the movie was the fact that Grande stole a man from another man's from his wife while she was pregnant while she had a baby, and even held a baby.
Yeah.
That don't sound right.
Yeah,
You must have been misinterpreting things.
Nope, she really did that.
She's just going on, oh, you can't criticize me. I'm just a little girl. Tee-hee.
My response is, lady, you're older than me. I can criticize you all I want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, there's one thing I don't forgive, and I do not forgive cheaters that much. And you coerced a man away from his wife and away from his own child.
Yeah.
I wonder why that would actually piss me off.
I can guess why, but that's for later.
He wasn't kidding. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I think we all know the reason. We're just not saying it on here.
Yeah, no,
unless we don't want to be canceled.
No, that's just personal stuff, not cancellation. Plus, at this point, that nonsense has basically lost its power.
Anyway, back onto subject. But like I said, I like the songs from the musical, and that is how Idina Menzel actually got her start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yes, I will occasionally sing a few stanzas of Defy Gravity. I can and will reference Dancing Through Life, and I even sing No Good Deeds Goes Unpunished.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly think the musical is a pale imitation of the original book.
what do you guys think about the Wiz with
That one is unironically good. I actually somewhat like that one, especially their take on the witch.
yeah.
I am somehow not surprised, given I've seen reviews of it. I've never actually had a chance to see it. I probably will.
Listen to the witch's villain song, "No Bad News." She pretty
no
this
bad news.
funny thing.
I do remember-
That's pretty much Twitter, and that's pretty much social media in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And that was before social
wow.
media was a thing.
Oh yeah, I actually remember watching The Wiz because it was part of movie marathon because this was 2009 and Michael Jackson.
Yeah. From the drug. Any other would say why. But Michael Jackson was a scarecrow.
Yep.
And that,
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Dear Lord, I forgot that was a thing.
yeah, I know.
They
I
pulled
watched
a
the
lot of
movie
musical
several
talent for
times.
that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had that great song. Come on in, get on down the road.
Yep.
After learning what happened to him, I can't blame him for coming out as messed up as he did.
Yeah.
Poor little kid. He didn't even get the chance to have a childhood.
Yeah. I can understand why you would develop Peter Pan syndrome there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll
South Park
admit to
actually
having.
covered that.
I'll admit to having those moments myself.
I mean, South Park actually did an episode covering him and his antics,
Yes.
complete
That was
with
a great
wearing a Peter
episode.
Pan costume. Although, of course, they couldn't call him Michael Jackson; they had to say Mr. Jefferson.
Yeah.
Mr. Jefferson, no.
This is my dad, Michael Jefferson. Michael Jefferson.
Michael Jefferson.
Hello, I'm Peter Pan.
Yeah. It's.
Interesting times.
Yeah, well,
Give it to South Park. They're equal opportunity offenders. If you have done something worthy of mockery, they will mock you. Doesn't matter the opinion, doesn't matter the religion, doesn't matter your stances on the Great Pumpkin. They will mock you.
Yes.
Oh.
Here's my thing when it comes go back to the video game movies. Kirby's gonna be the one I both anticipate and worry about because I know how easy it is to goof that. Right Back at You was a very good show.
Yes.
But I'm not certain you can actually do a proper Kirby movie like that show would have done. Because that show is aimed
Probably
more
not.
towards kids. A lot of Kirby
Right.
fans are like my age, we're nearing 40.
I admit I did watch Right Back at You, but I was technically a little too old for it at the time.
I did too.
Downstairs to the TV to watch it.
I like that show. It's just, good lord, it took a bit more to get dark when it did. It was like, okay, nope, this is full Kirby. It's like watching Kamen Rider and you wonder when the dark moments hit and you go, oh, we're past the holiday season. Now it gets dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that in Kamen Rider Ghost, the main character literally dies in the first episode, and he's trying to come back to life.
Well, it's a running trope in every Kamen Rider because it's usually one of the things they do is try to sell toys. It comes out the first few episodes, the first part of the season tends to come out right before the holidays. Good enough time to build up hype for the toys, sell it. Like Gotchard, Geets, and others, and Gaim. At one point, they're very, very, very kid-friendly, and then it starts getting a little dark as you go on. Then at one point, right at the end of the holiday sales, it's like, nope, we're off to the races. With Kirby, there are moments where it has to get dark because the bad guys have to do their bad guy thing and the big twist has to happen. Because every Kirby game has that pattern, and you're never expecting what the twist is, but you know there's a twist.
Yeah. And
Heck, I'll go back to what I originally...
I want to say a thing before you do.
Go.
There was a soccer game like on the Saturday. I don't know what year it was, but they had to cancel the Kirby episode because that was happening.
Oh, yeah, that.
Oh, I remember that.
Now, I'll go back to
I
Kirby
was so mad. Yeah.
I will go back to Kirby Superstar again just to point something out. My favorite game on there is the celestial one, the one where you're just hopping around like different planets to get the copy abilities and get certain power or star things from each planet to summon what's known as Mar, aka giant wish-granting clock, which of itself is basically an eldritch being capable of ending all life, and the guy who you thought was going to help you do things turns out to be your actual big bad, and you suddenly are in a bullet hell style shooter reminiscent of
Yeah, that
like
was
Metal
hard.
Slug and whatnot for part of that fight. Then you have to face off the boss's heart, the big giant metal clock, an eldritch living machine heart. Yes, that's legit the thing. It's just describing it's a pain in the butt because it's long. And then you have to fight possibly the hardest boss fight in the game, and Meta Knight can be a challenge, so that's saying something. You have to face off with Marks throwing endless attacks, endless, screen-wide will possibly kill you things. You have to just time everything, every block, every attack, perfectly, aim it near perfectly. And again, this is an SNES game. This is for the Super Nintendo. This particular nonsense did not be nice or easy. So every time I think of stuff like Geats, I always go back again to Kirby. There's the moment you know it's supposed to twist into something insane. Where the big boss at the end is not the big boss, and then suddenly it goes right into Eldritch Horror territory. Heck, the one for the Switch, the Forgotten Lands, that one goes very much more so for Eldritch territory in that the boss merges with the actual big bad and becomes a giant blue blob. That just
the little poor mousy friend.
Yeah, that was kind of scary. That was kind of one of those moments of, oh my god, I know it's coming, but it still hits me. Because I already knew that was going to happen. But the
I
minute
know it was going to happen.
I watched a review. The minute I saw that in the game myself on my big screen, I'm like, this hits harder. Oh my god, I gotta run and hit. Oh, what the fuck? That's kind of me.
You watched a review before playing the game?
I do that a lot of times, actually. I'm kind of immune to spoilers.
Just play the game and wait for review later.
No, seriously. I'm the kind of guy who can see the ending of a game and then see something in the middle of the game while playing it later that contradicts the ending and go, this is not what I saw. What the heck's going on? And I'm suddenly more interested and invested. I'm like the opposite of someone who has to avoid spoilers.
Well, this is dumb. I don't know. My brain just exploded to the fact that you watched a review before playing the game.
To be honest, Kirby for the Switch is very expensive, and I've been on a budget for a while.
Okay, that's a good excuse.
It makes sense in the practicality aspect that you want to make sure that you're buying a good product before you play the game.
Yeah, and
kind of like how at first when I first gave my ear to someone, I thought that this person could be trusted, but turned out he was full of it, and I couldn't. And I decided to actually check out the game on my own, even though it was a $60 purchase. I didn't care. I was actually going to see it for myself. And lo and behold, this individual was full of it. So in one case, I understand where Servant's coming from, but in the other case, there is a point in actually developing your own opinion first before making a judgment on a piece of media.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, with me, the reason I'm into like the games like Snoot Game and I want to hug that gator, it's because of our friends Nick and Jay, says they played those games. And I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. I want to play.
Yeah, like one of the biggest advertisement is streaming. Oddly enough, why I will probably start doing that at some point soon myself. And with that, to also mention, we're at over an hour, and I'm going to say this just for all our sakes. The next few podcasts, we will occasionally be calling out people who have dumb takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The war was declared.
We have a little list. We have a little list of society offenders who are partial round. I put them on the list. I put them on the list.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't get the list. I
Ray,
do
Ray
get the
tech-
list, but it's just I'm just like, yeah, it's the list.
Yeah.
I will call you out. Like, yeah.
You'll probably have plenty of reason to complain about how stupid they are.
Okay.
Yep.
Like I've said to Reyes before when we've been talking in person, we will occasionally be handing out the verbal equivalent of the knife to the bunny, everybody, because some people need eviscerated slowly, and others just need verbally stabbed repeatedly by a chaotic sailor bunny.
And just to add in, for the sake of adding in, we are going to be adding in some special guests later on because they're a master in a certain subject, and we would like a second opinion from them.
Maybe a little Hugh history guest, probably, which would be fun. I get to learn things.
Yeah, we'll probably learn a lot of things as we go on with this. So,
Absolutely.
With all that said, God bless you and
we will see you.
whatnot. Yeah, see you next time.
Yeah, we will see you all next time, and hopefully we'll make this weekly. This will probably go up a few days from the recording because we're doing this just as it's about to hit daylight savings time on a Saturday night. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
God bless.